Hey, well. Look who's still standing. The hero, the enforcer, the righteous hand of divine law. You must be so proud of yourself. Heh. Wiping out a city full of demons sounds like a busy night. But here's the thing, sunshine. Everyone thinks they're killing demons. Nobody ever checks the mirror. You see, people love the idea of justice. It makes them feel clean. Makes the blood on their hands smell like perfume. You call it order? I call it a nervous breakdown with a badge. You know what's funny? The demons you destroyed, they screamed, didn't they? They begged. They believed in something just before you tore it apart. That's the secret no one wants to say out loud. Belief and madness are cousins. One just dresses better, leans forward, voice drops control. That's the real joke. Everyone wants it. The cops, the crooks, the priests, the gods. But control is just fear in a fancy suit. You press down on the chaos and bam! It pops up right under your nose, wearing your face. Laughs quietly, then stops abruptly. You think you enforce divine law. Hey, no. You just picked a side in the same dirty coin toss that's been spinning since the world began. And guess what? Both sides are rigged. I mean, look around you. The city's burning, the good guys are sharpening their knives, and the only rule left standing is the one nobody wants to admit. Grins, voice low and rasping. The world doesn't need saving. It needs a punchline. Leans in, whispering through a grin, and the joke, my friend, the joke's on you. Laughs, long, slow, cracking laughter, then stops. Dead silent, because the only sane one here is me. Chaos exposes the truth beneath control. You see, control is a costume. A neat little illusion stitched together by trembling hands desperate to feel safe. People cling to it like a child holds a nightlight, pretending it keeps the monsters away when really, it just makes the shadows dance louder. Chaos doesn't create evil, it reveals it. Strip away the uniforms, the rules, the polite smiles, and you'll see what's really underneath: fear, greed, hunger. The things no law can cure, because they are the law of nature itself. Control is the mask the world wears to avoid looking at itself. Governments, religions, corporations, they all play the same game, make the chaos look tidy. Build a cage around it, call it civilization, and tell everyone inside that it's freedom. But cages rust, they always do. And when the bars start to bend, people panic, because they see what's been lurking behind the rules all along. The fact that everything they believed in was built on trembling ground. Chaos doesn't destroy truth. It strips away the lie that truth was ever stable to begin with. The funny thing about control is how fragile it is. One spark, one scream, one moment where someone decides not to play along, and the whole system stumbles. People lose their minds, not because the world's gone mad, but because it finally stopped pretending it was sane. And that's the punchline no one likes to hear. The chaos was always there. You just covered it with paperwork and prayers. There's something beautiful about that, don't you think? Chaos isn't evil. It's honest. It doesn't wear a badge. It doesn't hide behind a mission statement. It doesn't whisper about greater good while stabbing someone in the dark. Chaos just is. It laughs at your plans, dances on your deadlines, and reminds you that all your precious control was just borrowed time. When the power goes out, when the money burns, when the mask slips, people remember who they really are. And sometimes they don't like what they see. That's why people fear chaos. Not because it kills them, but because it shows them. Shows them how small, how desperate, how animal they still are beneath all that order. Control lets them pretend they've evolved. Chaos makes them remember they haven't. It's the mirror they spend their lives avoiding, the reflection that doesn't blink. You can't negotiate with it. You can't legislate it. You can't pray it away. You can only watch it crawl out from under your rules and smile back at you like it's been waiting the whole time. And here's the secret nobody wants to admit: people need chaos. They crave it. They build their towers higher and higher just so they can feel the thrill when one starts to shake. They make rules just so they can break them. They talk about peace, but they only feel alive in the riot. Order keeps them alive, but chaos makes them real. It's not the opposite of control, it's the truth underneath it. Every time someone loses control, screams, fights, falls, breaks, it's not a failure. It's honesty. It's life without the mask. Because deep down, everyone knows control is temporary. The universe doesn't care about your laws, your schedules, your little systems of power. One bad day, one wrong word, one flash of madness, and everything you thought was stable crumbles. That's not the end. That's the reveal. Chaos doesn't come to destroy your control. It comes to show you that you never had any in the first place. Justice is just madness wearing a mask. It smiles, it speaks softly, it carries the illusion of order, but behind that calm face is something wild, something that feeds on revenge, fear, and the desperate need to believe we're right. People love to say they're fighting for justice, but really, they're fighting for control, for validation, for the comfort of being the hero in their own story. Justice, that noble word, is just the prettiest excuse humanity ever made for its appetite for punishment. Think about it. Every system of justice depends on someone deciding what's right. But who gets to make that call? The winners? The loudest voices. The ones with the power to write the rules and call it truth. They build their courts, wear their robes, swing their gavels, and call it morality. But the moment their order is threatened, they turn into the same creatures they condemn. Justice isn't balance. It's bias dressed in ceremony. It's the madness of certainty pretending to be wisdom. The crowd loves justice when it's on their side. They cheer when someone's punished. They sigh when someone's caught. They call it fair, until it's their head on the block. Then, suddenly, justice becomes cruelty. The same people who demanded the sword now beg for mercy. That's the madness of it. It shifts. It bends. It changes faces depending on who's holding the blade. One man's justice is another man's nightmare. One hero's victory is another's tragedy. But the mask stays the same, smiling, solemn, pretending it knows what's right. You see, justice feeds on madness because it needs it to survive. It needs passion, outrage, righteous fury. All those hot, messy emotions we pretend are noble. People call it moral conviction, but it's just madness with manners. They say, justice must be done, while grinding their teeth, trembling with rage, hungry to see someone else suffer for their sins. That's not peace. That's catharsis. The courtroom is just a cleaner version of the mob. The fire's still there. It's just wearing a suit now. It's a funny thing, really. The more we chase justice, the more chaos we create. Wars have been started, cities have burned, children have died, all in the name of justice. Every villain believes they're the one restoring balance, cleansing the world, enforcing the truth. That's the punchline. Everyone thinks they're the hand of justice, but no one stops to wonder if maybe the scales were never balanced to begin with. Maybe there's no such thing as fair. Maybe it's all just madness trying to look sane. And yet we love it. We need it. Without justice, people feel lost, like the story doesn't make sense anymore. They can't handle the idea that bad things happen without reason, that pain isn't part of some divine equation. So they build systems, wear badges, make laws, anything to prove there's order. They dress the madness up in robes and call it reason. But deep down, it's the same primal urge that's always driven us, the desire to make someone else pay so we don't have to face our own guilt. When you strip the mask off, justice and madness look the same. Both are driven by obsession. Both believe they're right. Both will burn the world to prove it. The only difference is that one hides behind words like duty and law, while the other laughs out loud. Justice tells itself it's noble, that it restores balance, that it serves truth. But truth doesn't need a judge. It doesn't need a verdict. It just is. Justice, though, it's humanity's madness pretending to be holy. a mask we wear to feel civilized while we tear each other apart. Control is fear pretending to be order. It wears a clean suit, speaks in calm tones, and carries a clipboard to make sure every little thing fits neatly into its box. But beneath all that calm is panic, the trembling heartbeat of something terrified that the world might not listen. People crave control because they're afraid of what happens when they don't have it. They mistake structure for safety, rules for truth, and predictability for peace. But control isn't peace. It's just fear holding its breath and hoping no one notices it's shaking. Every law, every system, every locked door was built out of fear. Fear of chaos, fear of freedom, fear that without someone in charge, everything would fall apart. So we build walls, we write rules, we pretend we're managing life. But life doesn't obey. It doesn't wait for permission. It spills through the cracks, slips past the guards, and laughs at every fence we build. That's the secret control doesn't want you to see. It's never really in charge. It just acts like it is to keep you from realizing how fragile it all is. The powerful cling to control because they're terrified of losing it. The weak crave it because they think it will protect them. Everyone worships it, fears it, depends on it. And yet, the more control we create, the more we prove how scared we are. Cameras on every corner, schedules for every hour, rules for every breath. It's not order, it's obsession. It's the world trying to cage the unknown, to silence the pulse of uncertainty that makes us human. Control doesn't create peace. It kills the part of us that can live without it. And oh, how people defend it. They'll tell you control keeps them safe, keeps them sane, keeps the monsters away. But what they really mean is it keeps them from looking in the mirror. Because if they let go even for a second, they'd see that the monsters aren't outside, they're inside. They'd see the chaos humming behind their smiles, the hunger beneath their manners. That's why control matters so much. It's a mask for the fear that we're not who we pretend to be. You can see it everywhere. In the man who can't stop checking his locks. In the woman who plans every second of her day. In the leader who silences anyone who disagrees. They all say they're maintaining order, but they're just building a prison for their own uncertainty. They'd rather live behind bars of their own, making them face the raw, uncontrollable truth that no one is ever really in control. Control promises comfort, but it costs freedom. It tells you that if you just follow the lines, stay inside the boundaries, everything will be fine. But that's a lie, because order isn't natural. The universe doesn't move in straight lines. It burns, it breaks, it rebuilds. It's chaos wearing the mask of creation. And when we try to impose control on it, we're really just trying to cage the infinite. That's why control always cracks, because it's fighting against the very nature of existence. The irony is that the tighter we grip, the more we lose. The more we try to control life, the more it slips through our fingers. That's the cruel little joke. Fear creates control, and control creates the very chaos it fears. It's a circle that never ends. We call it order, civilization, progress, but it's just fear in disguise, pretending to know what it's doing, whispering that everything's fine while the foundation shakes beneath its feet. Control isn't power. It's panic dressed as purpose. The world doesn't need saving. It needs a punchline. Everyone's so busy trying to fix it, to patch the cracks, to hold everything together with duct tape and faith. But no one stops to realize the joke's been running the whole time. They call it progress, salvation, justice, all those shiny words meant to make the chaos feel meaningful. But the truth is, the world doesn't want to be saved. It wants to be understood. It wants someone to laugh with it instead of pretending it's sick. Because all these heroes, all these saviors, they're just clowns in better makeup, taking everything too seriously in a circus that never ends. You see, people can't stand the idea that life doesn't make sense. They need it to have purpose, a narrative, a clean ending. So they invent one, They build God's laws, revolutions, all in the name of saving something that never asked to be rescued. The world was born in chaos, shaped by accident, and it'll die the same way, screaming, laughing, burning, creating something new in the ashes. There's no cure for that, no plan, no divine rescue mission, just the ongoing comedy of existence pretending to be a tragedy. And oh, how seriously they take it. The politicians, the priests, the dreamers, all standing on their stages, waving their arms, trying to convince everyone they've got the answer. But you can see it in their eyes, the fear, the panic, because deep down they know the truth. Nobody's in charge. No one's steering the ship. The world isn't broken. It's just alive, unpredictable, untamed. But that scares people. They'd rather call it doom than admit they can't control it. So they put on capes, carry torches, make speeches, start wars, all in the name of saving something that never needed saving. The punchline. It's all absurd. The wars for peace. The lies for truth. The violence for justice. Humanity keeps writing the same joke over and over and never realizes it's laughing at itself. Every time someone says, "We can fix this," the universe just chuckles and throws another curveball. Because it doesn't want balance. It wants motion. It wants friction. That's how it breathes. Without chaos, everything dies. Without absurdity, nothing makes sense. The punchline is what keeps it spinning. But no one wants to laugh. They want to believe. They want to think there's a happy ending waiting if they just follow the rules, pray hard enough, fight long enough. But belief is the setup, and disappointment is the payoff. That's the rhythm of the world. Every dream ends in irony. Every ideal rots from the inside. Every savior becomes the villain the moment they think they've fixed something. It's not cruelty. It's timing. Perfect, comedic timing. Look around. Cities crumble, leaders fall, lovers betray, and yet people still wake up, still try again, still pretend they can fix what isn't broken. That's the funniest part. The resilience of madness. The eternal optimism of a species that keeps slipping on the same banana peel and calling it destiny. The world doesn't want redemption. It wants someone who gets the joke. Someone who can stand in the fire, watch it all collapse, and still grin because they finally see the pattern. Saving the world is the oldest delusion. Understanding it, laughing at it, that's where the truth lies. Because laughter isn't surrender. It's acceptance. It's the only honest response to the chaos that built everything. The world doesn't need another savior marching in with a plan. It just needs someone to hear the punchline, to see the beauty in the absurd, to realize that maybe, just maybe, the madness was the meaning all along.